Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Pigwar25 here, and today I am bringing you the shortly awaited Maxx Force analysis reaction. Now, I'm sure this coaster's already sunk into the masses. A lot of people already know that this thing exists, but I've taken a few days more, as well as worrying about my own life, to analyze this trailer and point out some of the features, piece together the layout from what we know, and just talk about things I've noticed throughout this trailer. Of course, you got the emboldened Six Flags logo right here. Let me get back into my tab here. So, we're going to scrub through this thing real quick. Just see each bit by bit. So, yeah, it fades. It goes to Maxx Force. So about this logo. I kind of like it. The red coaster track is, yeah, it's not really... I mean, there's nothing about this coaster is red. It's same thing. It's same colors as Full Throttle, actually. It's gray and white. So the red coaster track really just might, and maybe it's hot track, like hot metal. The whole thing does look metallic, futuristic. It's like a laser down here. I kind of dig the logo though. It's simplistic, but also has enough complexity to where it kind of just gets the job done. I mean, it's kind of Great America doesn't really have a standout logo for any of their coasters, but this one's all right. I kind of like it. Moving on quickly, we see this thing zooms closer and closer to the panoramic of the park. You see here in the sunshine, you still have Goliath, V2, Batman, Joker, Mardi Gras Hangover over there. Yeah, and then you have this guy, that guy, and this is the main inversion. This is the last inversion. This thing's going to take up a sizable chunk of land. This is the pathway that will go between Demon and Maxx Force. Whizzer will be like close in the foreground over here. Like here's the spiral lift hill. Whizzer's going to be close in the foreground over here. So this thing will probably be close to where the entrance pathway is, like behind Whizzer to the railroad track, close to where Hurricane Harbor's main entrance is by Raging Bull's turnaround, which you will see later on. This thing's going to be big. You can actually see it right here, this purple support that goes through the whole thing. That's Raging Bull's turnaround. So this thing's going to get awfully close to Raging Bull. Thing slowly zooms closer and closer, and then you got this double inversion right here. You can see things a little better around here. I mean, there's maybe this... I don't know if that would be Hometown Fun Machine if you scrub through slow enough, or that'd be a train. I think you can see a little bit of Whizzer right here. But yeah, it's nothing too much to sweat until you get to this shot right here. This main shot. You can tell that this final inversion, the final dive loop into the station, will be going... I mean, you can tell the brakes are on there right there. You can tell that's brakes. So it looks like you're going to be kicking in the brakes while you're already half upside down. I'll touch more upon that when they give us a POV shot. This thing's going to get awfully close to the water park as well, because there's Dive Bomber, Mega Wedgie, Wipeout right back there. This thing's going to, like, arc over the pathway where exit at Victorium to, like, the member entrance to the water park, if you're in the park, used to be. This thing's going to get awfully close to that. So, and you're going to be walking under those supports if you're on that pathway. This looks fantastic. But really what I want to talk about is this shot where it pans below this element into the station. Based on what I'm seeing, this looks like a two-train operations, also known as Crisis Averted. Oh my god, I was scared for this thing for a second. When I first saw the trailer, someone pointed out that this thing was going to be a capacity nightmare, which inspired me to take minutes, even hours, scrub through this trailer until I saw evidence of the station, the braking mechanism. Can this thing run one train or two? And I think because of the brake run on the dive loop there, I think we're going to be seeing that slow down enough to where we can run two trains on this thing. I don't know exactly how long it is from the bottom of this inversion to this brake pad. The second train, you can clearly count them. 1, 2. It might be dual loading. I know in Great America they'll probably somehow stack a third imaginary train because operations are mediocre at best. I do love how this station is like, there are supports going through the station, into the station building right there. That is unique. You can literally see support going through the building. And this station actually looks pretty nice as well. It looks like you might also enter and exit on the same side. For some reason. Like, you're probably going to exit out of the second car, and then, well, the first car is being locked up and boarding. I think. I doubt we're going to be seeing 3 cars in this thing, because I don't know if they'd be able to fit 3 cars. Also, talking about capacity, I believe the capacity of this will get a better view in this next shot by scrubbing it. You see this thing, it is themed to a Formula 1 dragster. I believe it's going to be 3 cars, each holding 4 people, like in this view right here. We got this train here. Yeah, 3 cars, 4 people for a capacity of 12 people per train, with 2 trains being 24 people a train. Now, this is less than the capacity of 1 train on X-Flight, 1 train on Raging Bull, it's 3 trains on Joker, less than a train on V2, exactly the same as 1 train on Goliath. Like, this thing's gonna have a capacity issue. It's a low capacity ride. And I mean, unless they can load this thing quickly and send people out very quickly, which I don't really see Great America stepping up their game and doing very reliably, I think this thing's going to have consistently long lines. This thing is going to be a smash hit with the crowd, I'm thinking, because if it's a traction with the very high acceleration launch, with the massive inversions, the very they're not ominous, but the very imposing looking double inversion steel structure, the tangled ball of steel track this thing is. This thing is going to be fantastic, but that capacity is going to be the real kicker of this ride. You're going to be waiting a while for this. So this would definitely, you're either going to wait till later in the season, a very dead day in the middle of late spring, early summer, or just get the Flash Pass. I think this thing is going to be on the Flash Pass. I wouldn't be surprised if they restrict it to upper level pass levels, but this thing is going to be very interesting, and this capacity is already scaring me. How bad this thing can get, along with its model, which I'll talk about a little later. So we're just going to analyze and scrub through the rest of the layout real quick. First of all, I want to talk about the position of this launch. This looks like the bridge where the train goes over. They're digging into the trench where the train is, and this might be occupying where Hometown Fun Machine's land was. Unless they can kick it into overdrive or bank it off soon enough. We might be seeing a bit of Hometown Fun Machine's land going under this bridge, if you know anything about the Sky View of Great America, which unfortunately I do not have in another tab. So, yeah, that's the station, which is going to be on the Pictorium spot, closer to the railroad where the gift shop is closer. The entire Pictorium clearing is likely going to be used for cattle pen queue. I see no other use for it at this point. Maybe even some of the land stretching out further by Viper. This thing's going to need a big queue box. Even bigger than Goliath, even bigger than Joker, even bigger than Raging Bull. Like, this thing is going to need a big queue. This thing will not only be a fad coaster, this thing will not be a fad coaster like Joker, and this thing will be a genuine thrill ride that people will ride for years on end. This thing will have likely overtake Goliath for having one of the most consistently long lines at the park. And you'll probably be stacked. That's why they have the dual loading station, because they don't want people to be stacked in these lap bars here. Thank God for lap bars, because SNS actually knows what they're doing with these things. So, yeah, we're going to have a launch under the train station, the whole launch up here, and then you're going to be banking up close to where Whizzer, this big turnaround all the way on the backside of Whizzer, you're going to go up, bank up, you're going to bank into this. There's going to be a small pop of airtime on the launch. Let me just find it real quick. There's going to be a small pop of airtime, like right there, pop of airtime, and then into the massive double inversion, which I think is going to be a very unique inversion, looking at this guy. You're going to enter, I scrubbed a little too far ahead. Yeah, just looking at this guy. You're going to enter the inversion from likely, I think, this side. You're going to enter the inversion from this side, go up into an Immelman, and then you'll kind of plateau before you're fully horizontal again. So you'll kind of be banking at 45 degrees back towards the ground, and then dive loop back into an angled drop, which will go this way into the next element. I think this is definitely going to be a very interesting element. The fact that you kind of invert twice, but not completely, is a very interesting borderline inversion. These are inversions, don't get me wrong. But the fact that you don't complete your 180-degree axial flip out of the dive loop, out of the Immelman into the dive loop again, is going to be a very unique feeling. And this ride doesn't do it just once, it does it twice. Watch and learn. So after that, you're going to be going, yeah, this is a 175-foot double inversion. It is incredibly tall, and you're going to be seeing the world's fastest inversion, according to them. I'm not sure what the current fastest inversion is, but you're going to be seeing this incredibly fast, from what we've been told, vertical loop. So what's going on? Just to recap the layout, we're going to have this launch into the small pop of airtime, up Immelman to the plateau, to the dive loop, which banks off to the right, and then comes down here, and you're going to see this plateau here. Also, this is going to look pretty close to Raging Bull, And there's the train tracks right there. This thing actually looks quite nice. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might not replace the water park entrance because it looks to be squeezed in there really nicely. The train track is actually on the right side of when you enter the water park, so it looks like they're going to preserve the current water park entrance, unfortunately. Yeah, and then this is a 6-shot right here. You're going to be doing a 0G roll over the train tracks in which you have a rare chance of possibly engaging with the train. This is going to be incredible. And like some people have already said, I think we're going to be seeing a spike of train ridership because some people want to see Maxx Force up close. And it's the closest you can probably get to the ride if they don't decommission it halfway through the season again. Because Great America is absolutely piss poor at keeping their train running. So, yeah. After that, you're going to go into the 0G roll. Then you're going to go up. Scrubbing to the video. You're going to go up into this. Looks like, I don't exactly know what that is. Like an upward ascending 0G roll, like half 0G roll, half heartline roll. Plateauing into a 90-degree stall. This looks like a 90-degree stall. You're facing completely out. You're facing towards the other side of the park. And then you're just going to end up diving into the dive loop, which will end the coaster. Yeah, 90-degree stall, and you're diving back into the station from there. And the 17th coaster, don't believe their lies. I think it's only their 15th. Because American Eagle only counts as one coaster, and Mardi Gras Hangover is not a coaster because it's a super loop. Right here. This is also a really nice shot of what's going to happen. So you see the recap of the layout. Launch into the thing, and it banks off the dive loop there. Into the 0G roll. Into this twist where you're going to be hanging 90 degrees facing towards the north side of the park. And you're going to be zooming past, going into the dive loop. They have a big POV you could scrub through. It looks like... and then you're going to be seeing this dive loop right here, which props to Great America for hiding the braking mechanism to this thing. I think the GP would have been upset if they knew how this thing ended, knowing that the brake run is right here on the launch. That is obviously brakes. If that's a second launch, I'd actually hang myself. But no, these are definitely brakes, which actually piques my curiosity. I really don't know what I do with this thing. I've been on full throttle. I've ridden it before. There's a plus and a minus to that braking mechanism. The plus is that you get some incredible positive G-force, especially to your region, up to your abdominal area. So you're definitely going to be rubbed up against the lap bars. You get some good positive G-force. Your inertia is trying to kick in to keep you moving forward while the coaster stops. You actually get some decent air time because you're just kind of suspended in air while the coaster slows down. But on the downside, there's no drop, and it's actually kind of uncomfortable on full throttle. I'm not sure how the speed will be carried through the coaster at this point, but I think that you'll still be going pretty fast if you're going 60 miles an hour through that loop, and you're going to be falling at gravity speeds whilst going into this inversion. So, kind of being half upside down in a dive loop while stopping, that's going to be a very unique experience. It might give for some good hang time. It might be uncomfortable, like some deem the holding brakes on impulse coasters like Steel Venom or Possessed or some of the other impulse coasters that still have their holding brake. It's like being hung like on the back spike of a giant boomerang if one even is still open in the United States. If you've been to Idaho or went to New England on a really good day, it's going to be one of those types of feelings. It's going to be weird, but I kind of want to see this plays out because it might actually be one of the best parts of the ride if it turns out the forces work in its favor. If it isn't, it's going to be a very abrupt stop and will often leave a bad taste in coaster enthusiasts' mouth. So, yeah. And then, of course, the whole thing just goes through the layout again, scrubbing through, just goes through the whole layout. It's going to go into that inversion, and then, yeah, it's just more cinematic shots. There's not much to see other than this thing. I'm going to end it on this menu right here. My overall thoughts on Maxx Force is that unless this thing, like other S&S air launch coasters that open in the United States with Six Flags maintenance record, unless this thing ends up being a mechanical disaster like some of their other earlier air launch coasters like Hypersonic XLC and Powder Keg, I mean, from what I've heard, S&S has honed their craft with the air launch coaster like this, going from 0 to 80 miles an hour in less than 2 seconds in China. I think this thing, the craft could carry over to America, especially since they now have the expertise of Vekoma with their modern track design. Because, well, SNS, Sansei, and Vekoma all merged, or SNS Sansei bought Vekoma back in the spring, and that made waves in the coaster industry because now SNS and Vekoma might actually be able to make good and unique rides if Vekoma hadn't already proven itself with Lech Coaster. I think this thing is going to be pretty smooth. I don't see any reason why this thing would be rough upon opening. They've already worked out the kinks with Gale Force. It's a completely different track style than Gale Force anyway. I think we're going to be seeing a pretty smooth ride. It might gain a rattle over time, but it's not going to be excessively rough and long way down the road if it doesn't have chronic breakdowns. But I think what Great America has on their hands is a GP and coaster enthusiast friendly launch coaster that will essentially outclass V2 for whatever it's worth, maybe even leading to its inevitable removal for, say, a Mack Power Splash, or the removal of V2 and the log flumes for an even larger coaster, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line. This is the first major coaster the park has gotten since Goliath in 2014, and I kind of expect this thing, I think this thing should be open by Memorial Day, depending on how quickly. Going during holiday in the park will definitely allow you to get some good views of the clearing, since no way they're going to even attempt to start building the thing before the new year. They're definitely going to have a good chunk of clearing, good chunk of the rides torn out, or like whatever, if they even open that part of the park and not relocate it to the left side of the park with Batman and Joker, like I predict they would. But I think overall, Maxx Force, I think this is going to be a winner. This will be another coaster that is going to be a solid addition to the lineup. Still not world class, which Great America desperately needs alongside Magic Mountain. But I think this thing will round out a solid and very diverse top three. You have the speed and grace and majesty, as well as the ejector-filled drop of Raging Bull. You have the frantic, fast-paced, aggressive RMC and Goliath, compact as well. And then you have the compact, high-powered launch coaster accelerating 3.5 times faster than gravity coaster in Maxx Force, as well as a nice supporting cast of X-Flight, Batman, Superman, Viper, V2, and the list goes on. You got an incredible variety of coasters, and this, I think, would definitely be a very good coaster to add to this park, especially since V2 has been rumored to be on its way out for a long while now. So, that will wrap up my thoughts of Maxx Force. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscription. I hope you guys have a great insert unit of time here. Leave it in the comments below if you're happy with this edition, or if you're dissatisfied, and leave your reasons why. I want to hear from you guys. And on that note, I wish you guys